me and younger women, and they've paved the way for people that you're probably more familiar of, such as Taraji P. Henson, Beyonce, and other notable women of today's society. Now, I really want to talk about Taraji P. Henson because she is one of my favorite actresses, and if you're not familiar with her, you actually probably are, you just don't know her name. But if you admire Cookie from Empire, then you know how much Taraji P. Henson can act, because she can act. And I was actually very fortunate to be able to see her speak at Tennessee State University around this time last year, actually. She came to TSU when it was actually sold out, I think. And she came and spoke, and I got to see her, and I got to ask her questions. She was very nice. It was a really nice event. And so Taraji P. Henson, she is an actress. She's, her most famous works are like I Can Do Bad All By Myself, and especially Empire. Now, Empire, if you're not familiar with it, is a show about an African-American recording company, which is a family called, they call themselves Empire. It's just a really nice show, and if you don't watch it, it comes on Fox. It comes back on in March, I think. But anyway, that's Empire. And I Can Do Bad All By Myself was a woman who was a singer at a club, and she has to take in her nephews and her niece, and she has to raise them while kind of raising herself. And she's worked in a lot of great things, and I think that that wouldn't have been possible without these women, because they showed that you do not have to be a man to do certain things. Like, for instance, there was a time when they thought that women couldn't be actresses, and there was a time where they thought that men couldn't be models. And so there are always those people who break those boundaries and say, hey, if I can do this, then you can do this. Like Marie Curie said, if I can be a scientist, then a man could be a makeup artist. Anything, because since these people defy these odds, it should empower you to say that you can defy your odds. And for instance, like Beyonce is probably one of the most acclaimed artists in the world, really. And she's actually come under a lot of controversy recently for her Super Bowl performance, where she had a Black Panther themed performance at the Super Bowl. I personally enjoyed it because I thought that it had Black power in it, it had spirit, I liked it. But a lot of people are saying, you know, she's like a racist and she's going overboard with it. But it's up to you. And if you want to see the Super Bowl performance, you can probably just look it up on YouTube. And her new song Formation that just came out, the video's under a lot of controversy in the lyrics, and if you want to look that up, you can look that up too. It's quite easy to find. And basically, women like this empower me, but there are always women back at home who should empower you. And I know a lot of people don't have those types of women in their lives, and so that's why I like to be a mentor and etc. And I like to encourage my friends to be mentors to those people who don't have those women figures, like those boys who are growing up without parents and etc., running the streets and etc. But just imagine the difference you could make just by being that woman figure that they've never had in their lives. And so basically, two women who have encouraged me a lot in my life are my grandmother and my mother. Basically, your wife and your daughter. The reason that my grandmother encourages me is because she showed me, and she's told me multiple times, that whatever I want to do, that I can do. She's never told me that there was something I couldn't do. Even if I wasn't the best at something, for instance, like running track, I didn't always make first place, or I didn't even always place all the time. Or finish. Or finish. Don't bring that up. No, but anyway, I didn't always do the best, but she encouraged me after every single game. And she told me, you know what, there's always room for improvement, but just don't ever give up. And I think that's the reason why I'm here today, because when I first started the show, I was, it was about 6 years ago. I was like, I don't even know how old.
8 years old.
8, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And so I wasn't the best at speaking. Why? Because I was 8. I had a gap right here. I was missing a tooth. I needed a crown. Did I even have glasses at that point?
You didn't have any glasses.
I couldn't see. I was a mess. But she encouraged me after, and she would get up in the mornings and watch my show, and she'd wake me up. She'd be like, "Alana, I just watched your show, and you did so good." And she would just gas me up, knowing that I wasn't that good, but she's the reason why.
No, you were pretty good, now, Alana, even at 8. Now, that's why you're here now. Good.
And she encouraged me so much where I just didn't want to stop filming the show, and so I spend more time researching my topics, so I have more to talk about, and I've worked on my vocabulary, and I've tried not to flare my hands as much, but that didn't work. And so she's helped me grow a lot. And another woman who's helped me grow a lot is my mother. She has always supported my endeavors as well, but she's also taught me a lot of things. I like my grandmother. My grandmother is more big on encouraging me and basically never letting me give up. I mean, she's never let me give up. If I said, I can't do it, she won't let me give up. Like, for instance, I couldn't play trumpet. She made me practice, and she made me get good to the point where I actually was fortunate enough to be a part of Metro Nashville's honor band, middle school honor band, which was a really nice event. It was a 2-day event. I had to have a concert. It was really nice. And so I thank these women in my life for being in my life, and I thank them for not saying you can't do this and you'll never be good like that, because they don't have that type of hate in their hearts. My mother and my grandmother have never told me that there's something I couldn't do. If I said, Mom, I want to do this, you can do it. Just practice for it and get ready for it. If I say, I want to be an astronaut, well, learn science and get good at science, because they've never told me I couldn't do anything. I could say that I want to fly, and they could say, well, if you make a machine, you can fly. They would never tell me that I couldn't. And I'm so happy about that, because it's given me so much self-confidence, and it's helped me with so many opportunities in my life.
So in a real personal way, you can say that Women's History Month is not only for the general public, but each person has to look within their own lives and within their own households. And they can find women who are significant and women who are doing the same thing in different ways than as the women that you are doing dealing with this morning. Is that what we're saying? Of
course. And if you are a woman and you didn't grow up with those types of figures, be that figure to somebody. If you have a son, be that figure to your son. Even if you don't have children, you can go to like the Boys and Girls Club or the YMCA. You can be those figures to kids who didn't have that, and hopefully they can grow up a lot better than a child who didn't have that influence would grow up. And you can really make a difference and really help a lot of children. That's why I always encourage people to go to mentoring and do activities like that, because you don't know how you can impact a child.
Very good. And so, Lana, let me thank you over the last half minute that we have here of giving us that information. As a matter of fact, all of the information that you were giving us this morning was so extensive that I didn't even have an opportunity to say that much about it, and that's what I wanted to do, because I wanted you to demonstrate that you are aware of what is going on, and I certainly appreciate that, and I'm sure that your peers appreciate it, and I'm certainly sure that your grandmother and your mother will appreciate some of the kudos that you handed out to her this morning. And of course, let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you
and good morning.
Later on. Yeah, you really did a good job. Much more than I anticipated or expected, I must say. Oh, Dr. Sanford, how are you doing today? Good, very good. Right on time. Yeah, it's good. We can deal with this one. Impact of social structures on voting patterns? Okay, very good. Yeah, that's my phone. She's got one of those big ones. Costs $800. Good seeing you. I tell you, it's good seeing you. Yes, sir. Just finished with Alana. Man.
I saw her. We came in and I greeted her. All right. Oh, okay.
Here,
All right.
and then we'll put this. Let's go back here a little bit more.
Okay.
There we go. All right, that should be good.
All righty.
Okay, let's see.
Give us a mic. That's kind of 10.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Keep going.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Everything all right?
Going fairly well. You know how things go.
Hey, I know
Ups
how
and
that
downs
is.
and all like that.
The impact of social structures on voting patterns.
On voting
is that right?
patterns, yes.
Is that appropriate?
Yes, and
Okay,
I'm going to
good.
try to hit that old historical thing. I contextualize it. Try to hit that historical thing when people didn't have it and why we should really be important to be a part of the process today.
Especially since this will be seen during this
Yes,
period.
absolutely,
Yeah,
yes.
so, yeah, good, very good. You didn't have any problems this morning, did you?
Oh, no.
All ready? You are.